This story is titled The Secret They Keep. I never imagined love could feel like a hidden thing, like something whispered behind closed doors. But after 2 years with Daniel, that's exactly what it had become. My name is Claire. I'm 39 years old, and I thought I had finally found my person. We met in the most unexpected way, stuck in an elevator for 45 minutes. Those were the most intense, revealing minutes of my life. We went from awkward strangers to two souls unraveling our hopes, fears, and past wounds. By the time the doors opened, I wasn't just walking out of that elevator. I was walking into something bigger than myself. Something I thought was love. Daniel was kind, attentive, and made me feel like I belonged in his world. Or at least his world with me. Because after 2 years together, there was still one place I had never been, his family's world. I had tried to be patient. I told myself it was no big deal. I mean, not everyone is close with their family, right? Maybe there were wounds there he wasn't ready to share. But then came the inconsistencies. The way he always dodged my questions about his parents. The way he'd tense up if I brought up holidays, birthdays, or even just a casual, hey, wouldn't it be nice to have dinner with your family sometime? And then there were the phone calls, always stepping out of the room to answer them, speaking in hushed tones. If I walked in unexpectedly, his expression would shift, like a guilty child caught with their hand in the cookie jar. At first, I convinced myself it was nothing. Some people are just private. Maybe his family was difficult, maybe he was just trying to protect me from something painful. But 2 years? 2 years of secrets. 2 years of feeling like a hidden part of his life. And then, one night, the weight of it became too much to ignore. It was a crisp October evening, the kind where the air is cool enough to make you reach for a blanket, but not quite cold enough to turn on the heat. We were sitting on my couch, the glow of a candle flickering between us. Daniel was scrolling through his phone, completely unaware that I was watching him, studying him. I took a deep breath. This was it. Daniel, I said, keeping my voice steady. Why haven't I met your family? His thumb froze mid-scroll. Slowly, he set the phone down, but he didn't look at me. It's complicated, he said, his voice tight. That's not an answer, I pressed. We've been together for 2 years. 2 years, Daniel. I don't even know what your mother looks like. His jaw clenched. Claire, please. No, I interrupted, my chest tightening. I need to understand. Are you ashamed of me? Are you hiding me? His eyes snapped up, wide with something that looked an awful lot like fear. Of course not, he said quickly. Too quickly. It's just not that simple. I waited. I wanted him to tell me. I needed him to tell me. But he just sat there, silent, like he was drowning in words he refused to say. That silence? It was my answer. I stood up, my heart pounding. I can't do this anymore, Daniel. His head jerked up. What? I deserve more than secrets. I deserve someone who isn't afraid to be with me in every part of their life. If you can't give me that, then I love you. His voice cracked. Claire, please, just give me time. I searched his face for something, anything, that made me believe this wasn't a lost cause. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I'm done waiting, I whispered. If you won't let me in, then I have to walk away. And just like that, I did. I walked away from 2 years of love, of laughter, of moments that had felt like forever, and he let me. The first few weeks were unbearable. My heart felt like it had been ripped apart, but I held on to one thing, the belief that I had done the right thing, that I deserved more than a man who loved me in secret. Then, just as I was beginning to stitch myself back together, something happened. A message. One I never expected. It was a Sunday morning when my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. Curious, I picked it up. Unknown number. Claire, please. I need to talk to you. It's about Daniel. My breath caught. I should have ignored it. I should have blocked the number, walked away, and never looked back. But curiosity? It's a dangerous thing. I typed back one word. Who? The response came almost instantly. His sister. My stomach clenched. His sister? The one he never spoke about? The one I didn't even know existed. I hesitated for only a second before replying. Why are you reaching out to me? This time it took longer for the response to come. When it did, my blood ran cold. Because I need you to know the truth. About Daniel. About everything. I agreed to meet her at a quiet little coffee shop on the other side of town. The moment she walked in, I recognized her. Not because I had seen a picture of her before, but because she looked just like him. Same sharp jawline, same piercing blue eyes, same haunted expression. She spotted me immediately and walked over, sliding into the seat across from me. Claire? She asked, her voice hesitant. I nodded. She exhaled sharply. I know this is probably really weird for you, but I had to reach out. I had to tell you the truth about my brother. I swallowed hard. What truth? She glanced down at her hands, fidgeting with the edge of her sleeve. When she spoke again, her voice was so quiet I almost didn't hear it. He's married. Everything around me, the clinking of cups, the soft hum of conversations, the entire world blurred into nothing. I blinked, shaking my head as if I had misheard. No, I said, my voice cracking. No, that's not possible. He would never. But even as I spoke the words, something inside me knew that this was the answer I had been dreading, the one I had felt all along. 2 years. 2 years of being hidden, 2 years of secrets. I was the secret, and I had never even known. The words echoed in my mind like a cruel joke. He's married. I sat there numb as Daniel's sister Maggie watched me with an expression I couldn't quite place. Pity, regret, guilt. I swallowed the lump in my throat. You're lying. She shook her head. I wish I was. The coffee in front of me had gone cold, but I couldn't feel anything. My body was frozen in place, my mind scrambling to make sense of something so impossible. Daniel, the man I had loved for 2 years, the man who told me I was his everything, the man who held me at night, whispered promises into my skin. Married? My voice came out barely above a whisper. How long? Maggie hesitated before answering. 10 years. I choked on my own breath. 10, she nodded. I didn't know about you at first, but then I started noticing the changes. He was different, distant. I figured he was having an affair, but I never imagined it was serious. I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. Serious? I thought he was going to propose. Maggie winced. Claire, I'm so sorry. Sorry? What did sorry even mean in a moment like this? I should have gotten up. I should have walked out of that cafe and never looked back. But there was one question still burning in my chest. Does she know? Maggie's fingers tightened around her coffee cup. No. I exhaled sharply, my hands gripping the table to keep from shaking. Of course she didn't know. I was the hidden one. The secret shoved into the shadows. Something inside me snapped. I want to meet her. Maggie's eyes widened. Claire. I deserve to look her in the eyes, I said, my voice steel. I deserve to tell her. Maggie hesitated, but then slowly she nodded. She deserves the truth. 2 days later, I stood in front of a charming 2-story house in a quiet suburban neighborhood. The kind of place where love was supposed to live. My heart pounded against my ribs. I had thought I'd be scared, but I wasn't. I was angry. I rang the doorbell. A few moments later, the door opened and there she was. Daniel's wife. She was beautiful. Dark hair pulled into a loose ponytail, warm brown eyes filled with confusion as she took me in. She had no idea who I was. Not yet. Hi, I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. My name is Claire. I was in a relationship with your husband for 2 years. Her expression flickered, confusion turning to disbelief. Then, something else. Realization, like a puzzle piece snapping into place. I watched as her world cracked right in front of me. Daniel called me later that night. I didn't answer. I let it ring. Again and again. Then finally a single text. Why? I stared at the word, my chest tight with emotions I couldn't even name anymore. Then I deleted the message, because I didn't owe him an answer. I had finally been set free. If this story resonated with you, like, comment, and subscribe. If you've ever felt hidden, your voice matters. Share your thoughts below.